Hell, what's Armin thinking right now? What is he feeling? Where is he? Like,
so, okay, that brings up something else I want to talk about. Did I hear it wrong or remember wrong that Magath seemed to be planning to attack Paradis now? And there were ships in the water, and I didn't know if that was soldiers heading back here or if they were heading toward Paradis.
I think the idea was that their plan was going to be to go after Paradis, and now he's saying, to try to get the Founding Titan, try to regain control and stability. But it's easier now because the Founding Titan's right here, so we don't have to go over there.
Okay. Because once I saw the ships in the water, I was like, wait, are all of those soldiers coming back to fight, or are we fleeing?
I think it was visualizations going across with what was, like, being told the plan was. I could be wrong, of course.
I mean, like, there was a lot of stuff that happened in this episode, so if we miss one or two things, I apologize.
Okay. I think there's a few more things I want to, like, touch on and, like, make sure we're on the same page about and ask you questions about. But one thing I want to make sure we definitely touch on, because I think it's one of the most important things this episode. Who has the best glow up, if any? Who has the worst? Levi kind of hasn't changed at all, and I'm really happy about it.
I wonder if it's because he was already probably in his 20s or something like that.
That's true.
And all of our other characters were, I think, around like 15, 16 last time
Let's start with Eren.
Eren does not look good at the moment.
Let's say past or present, okay? And past, you prefer the past design. Present, you prefer the present, okay? Eren?
Yeah. Eren's hard to go with because if he didn't look like he was a soldier in a mental institution as he was pretending to be, and he maybe like cleaned up a little bit and was in the cool suits that all the other scouts are in, maybe I'd feel differently, but I'm not liking how he looks right now.
That's fair.
He looks way older than he actually is. And I think he looks a little too much, reminding me of his dad a little too much, which obviously was on purpose. So I need to see him once he like goes to the salon,
Mikasa?
The barber shop.
Mikasa looks like a little shorter hair, maybe.
I don't know how, I think I'm torn on if I like Mikasa's hair where it is at the moment.
I think
it's not bad and I don't hate it, but I'm like, do I like it a little longer or do I like it that short?
I think I have a tendency to like longer hair. So I liked the longer hair. That being said, for some reason, the scarf works better for me in this outfit. And I love this outfit on her. Like, I adore
She looks
this
like
outfit
a badass, which she is. And I think she finally like 100% looks like really, really, really
She looks like a ninja, almost.
Yes.
Flock and John.
Flock's hair got so much better.
It got so much better.
Did he already get rid of the hairdo we hated when we last saw them?
Yeah.
As they were on the horses?
Yeah, because they grew their hair out a little bit.
They grew their hair out a little bit, and he already was doing better for himself with the hairdo department.
I guess I'm just surprised at how far it's come. It feels like there was one complaint of this entire show that like the mass populace had, and it was Flock's hair. And
yeah, I mean, like everyone really cared about it.
It's like the biggest, like, sure, Sonic being redesigned was a big moment for everybody, but this was way more significant. And
it's like that was probably the same situation that a lot of people were like, hey, you guys need to change this guy's hair design, and they did it because the fans asked for it.
I might change my mind about Mikasa. She looks great with short hair too.
She does look really good. But my favorite, because we aren't done with all the people that we've seen with glow-ups, my favorite is Connie.
Connie looks so hot, dude. Oh my god! Don't get me started.
He went from little brother character to
big
hot,
brother,
and I'm like, what is happening here? I did not expect to think that about Connie at all.
I think, like, Jean is turning into what he should be, which
I was a little disappointed with it. Just slightly.
It makes sense that he's this responsible, like,
he looks like a responsible dad.
But when I look at Connie, I'm like, oh my god, where's little Connie who was looking at his dead mother turned into a Titan? This is like older Connie who's looking like cool. I don't know.
Yeah. Yes. I feel like I don't know if anyone watching this has played Fire Emblem Three Houses, but there is a time skip that is about, I think, like 10 years, I don't know, somewhere. So it's a bunch of years.
Yeah.
And you go from having characters that are teenagers to characters that are like appropriate age-wise. And some of them you're like, oh, and I feel like that's like Connie for me, is if he was a character in that game and then the time skip happened and I'm like, what?
You know what's crazy about it too?
I suddenly like you.
It's like it's not that much of a change.
No,
like it's
really
just
not.
like longer hair a little bit.
I think they made him a little taller too.
Maybe some
actually.
eyeshadow.
He looks hardened a little bit.
Yeah. Why is Levi the only person we saw wearing the Scout Regiment cape? And is there like an inner faction thing? Like he doesn't agree with them, so he's wearing this cape?
Or is he wearing it because of Erwin and it's like an emotional reason?
Maybe everybody else seems to be in like the stealth suits, right?
I feel like they just realized a cape was impractical.
Like Edna?
Like a lot of yes, just
Yeah.
like Edna. Like if anyone has watched The Incredibles, you know that capes are just not the way to go.
Unless
And
you're like so strong.
Yes. But like capes could definitely lead you to dying in an unfortunate, unnecessary death. And
Yeah.
I hope that's not a mark for Levi because I would like him to survive. Okay, Sasha, I didn't know that was her at first. I was kind of trying to rack my brain of who was that for a second.
Yeah.
And then the only person that made sense was Sasha. So I
Mhm.
just went for Sasha. And then Connie said Sasha. And I was like, oh, okay.
So, do you think we have the advantage or not? Do you think the Scouts have the advantage? Aaron, Mikasa, Levi, or not?
So we're already starting off on a bad foot because it's never good. It's never like an amazing situation if you're taking bait, even though you know you're taking bait. It's never a great situation because it means that the enemy is there's no surprises, really, truly, other than these weapons that in the Scouts and stuff being there. The amount of surprise and shock factor of getting the edge over them is kind of gone when they've already kind of been preparing for you to possibly attack right now with this bait. So I think it levels out the playing field in a way of like, I don't know how it's gonna go. I mean, obviously all the Scouts are here and I don't really think Marley with their guns are gonna do a good job against like a bunch of badass Scouts swinging around the buildings. I think that the people from Paradis, like, okay, so if you think about Marley and their military mindset compared to the Scouts and the people on Paradis, you have a bunch of soldiers who have been fighting wars that your country chose to fight, and most of the time you've had the upper hand because you've had Titans that were able to take the brunt.
Yeah.
And fight for you. And so, yes, you might have military and fighting experience, but there's a different amount of survival instinct
That's
to
true.
what the people from Paradis have. The people from Paradis have a survival instinct that has grown within them.
These aren't just civilians of Paradis. These are Scouts, you know?
Yeah.
They're,
and they have fought Titans.
They have the
They
ODM
have
gear.
fought people because they fought Kenny. Like,
we are forgetting about Cart and Zeke though. Where are they? Like obviously Cart's on the way with trying to get, I guess, the outfit ready, right?
They needed
equipment.
the cart equipment.
But Zeke, like we don't know where he is. We saw Levi, which is a little bit concerning.
Is it okay? So Porco made it here. Zeke wasn't too far away. He just walked to a gate, basically, which I believe is probably even that same gate that Gabby had to run through when she was talking with the guards, which is the gate into the Liberio zone.
Yeah.
And
maybe Hanji's with Zeke?
I'm like, Zeke wouldn't he have transformed by now, and wouldn't you see it? Like, he's a pretty tall Titan.
Do you think the orangutan could have gotten out of the well?
If they put him in a well, could he have gotten out of it? Well, so one of the reasons that Peak and Porco didn't try to transform is because they were in it together. So they would have squished the other person.
Is there any shot that Zeke and Aaron have like a thing going?
Like a fight?
No, they're somehow on the same team. Like if we're thinking about how the person who took Cart and Jaw to the well was the same person who split Zeke up from them.
And it would be weird to me if Peak was the only one that was suspicious. I feel like Zeke seems to be pretty have some street smarts. He doesn't seem naive to me. Like Porco would have just, oh, I'll go with this guard. Okay. What? Peak, you knew that person was suspicious?
Yeah. I don't know. I have a lot of questions on the Zeke front.
Zeke has always been a question mark for us of like, especially that we know now that the person that raised him has regret over the actions and the way things played out with Aaron's dad and Zeke's mom. We have literally zero clue of Zeke's ambitions, intentions, or anything. But I have a strong belief that he, like some of the other characters, like Aaron, has his own goal and intention.
Yeah.
And it might not match up exactly to what other people's are, but he will battle with you if what you want gets him closer to his. And I feel like he is similar to Aaron in terms of like he has his own idea of what he's going to achieve, and if other people follow suit or it matches up with other people's ideals, cool, we'll fight together.
Yeah.
But if not, I'm still on this path, but I just don't know what that path is, and I don't know what his intentions are.
If I'm thinking about this like badly groomed, well thought Aaron, right? And what he's been thinking about. The last thing that Zeke said to him was that he was going to come rescue him, right?
Right.
So if I've been here for a while and like I'm revealing myself to Reiner, like it would be hard for me to not also try to investigate and question this person who said that he was going to come rescue me. Like,
is it weirder now that, if you think about it, is it weirder that Aaron didn't present himself to Zeke? Zeke is his half-brother. Zeke's last line to him was, I'm going to come rescue you. I know that there were reasons to present himself to Reiner, but in that moment, I do wonder, like, what if it had been Zeke that he had presented himself to before killing Willie?
I don't know.
Because I feel like they also have a conversation that needs to happen, unless it's already happened and we aren't going to see it until like a past tense, like flashback.
I wonder if we're just not going to get it.
Because
that'd be so nuts.
How could we not get something when they're half brothers, that their dad put them in very similar shitty situations as children, and they've both had to grow up a little too fast and in the ideas of war and bad treatment.
Oh, one thing I wanted to say, it wasn't an issue for me, and I don't know if it was because it's Funimation, because throughout starting the season, obviously we're watching this on Funimation instead of Crunchyroll. I kind of like Crunchyroll better, but because of apparently redone animation, we're watching it on Funimation.
Through the Blu-ray.
Through the Blu-ray, yes. So it's like, whatever, the ideal thing to watch, right? The most voted on, the preferred way. They use CG much more on individual people in this season so far. And it's done well here, so it doesn't take me out of it. It doesn't like make me upset. But if it was bad CG on regular people, I can see it being an issue with some. If that's when supposed bad CG would have happened or bad animation would have happened.
I hope that there are some like comparison videos on YouTube or something. I'm sure like after the season's over, come on, why wouldn't someone have done a video of this is what it looks like before it was, the animation was fixed, and here's what it looks like now from the Blu-ray. Like, come on, people would have done a video like that.
It has to have been done. If it hasn't, we need to do it and we need to watch that, because like I'm so curious to like what it could be. But I did notice that there was more CG on just humans. When that hadn't been a tendency with the previous animation studio. But again, no issue with it at all. It didn't take me out of it. I thought it was actually really well done.
Ooh, question. Since we're talking about the CG and we're looking at Porco on the screen, why couldn't Porco bite? Levi swoops in and slices
like, cut
something.
his jaw.
Cut his
like,
jaw.
Like
okay, because it happened so quickly, and I heard Porco be like, I can't bite, even though he literally had like his mouth on Aaron's neck. And I couldn't understand why he couldn't bite for that second.
It reminded me of when Annie had Aaron in her mouth, and right after Levi saved Mikasa, he like cut the jaw open.
Okay, he's already. Oh, I see. You just pulled it up. He he broke the jaw.
Yeah.
But what happens right after you see the broken jaw is Porco is aghast by the fact that these humans want to fight a Titan and are like fully coming at him, sword swinging, and he's like, to him, I imagine that is terrifying. He's grown his whole life thinking that the scariest thing you can be, the most intimidating thing you can be, and the most powerful thing you can be is a Titan, and that's what you want to aim for. All of the other nations of the world are scared of you.
Other nations
you just see a bunch of people running at you, not scared. Like, this is the first time in his life that he even fathomed the idea.
The degree too. Other countries with like Titan tanks and like you know, like big castles or like all these weapons and guns, and these people are just flying at you with jetpacks and swords. Like you're fucked. Like, that's a terrifying thought. Like, they have no fear,
especially for this character. This character is the type of character who has a lot of unfounded confidence in himself. Like, he thinks very highly of himself. He thinks himself very cool. And to him, like, that's why it's even, it's not funny. I don't know if that's the word I want to go for, but it's comedic to me in a way that it's that character personality with the realization.
Yeah.
And it really works.
I have one last question for you.
Okay.
Is the Warhammer Titan our path towards a flying Titan? If you can make things that come out of your body into shapes, and we want big weapons with Titans, which is something I've always been an advocate for. I didn't expect for it to come in this way, if I'm completely honest, but...
You expected some awesome blacksmith to create giant swords for them.
Correct.
Yes.
That is what I expected. That's exactly what I wanted.
Forged over fire.
Yes,
maybe
correct.
like 10 blacksmith all hitting this one giant sword.
That would have been the coolest thing in the
over
world.
a volcano.
I
because
really...
it needed to be big.
Stop making it so cool! Oh, okay. But wings, what do you think? Maybe? Or like gliders or like a parasail, you know?
Well, because they're phrasing it as a hardening, that's my only, like, oh, well, if it's hard. But, you know...
It kind of looks like an airplane.
We talked about the flaps of skin, so like gliders, that might be the extent of flying that could happen.
Yeah.
Like, we're in Breath of the Wild, you know, we're Link, and we're on that wall. We've just, you know, basically gone through that first area you get into, and then you get the paraglider for the first time. That sort of thing. That's what I'm picturing, but with, like, skin.
Well,
so, like,
when I think of like the armor, right, the hardening, I think of like bone almost, like in texture and hardness. And if you have that like out of just like airplane wings, right, then like you could glide a bit.
Yeah, I also the heaviness of the Titans is still so funked up.
Yeah,
because of the fact that if you cut their limbs off, it's weightless. Basically, we don't know about the Titans that are with warriors inside of them. We don't know if you cut off Aaron's leg, would it be as weightless as like a pure Titan?
Yeah.
We don't know that. I don't think anyone's like said that to us or discovered it themselves. But it still makes me think like a Titan is really heavy when it's not cut up into a bunch of pieces, because it can break apart buildings. It can run into, I mean, you've seen them run. If you've watched this show, you have seen Titans run and break buildings and squeeze the life out of people.
Yeah.
So I'm like, flying with something that is actually heavy, unless it's dismembered, I don't know how you manage that.
I have one more thing.
Okay.
And it just popped back in my head. I was thinking about it the other night while I was going to sleep, and it's so weird. But
lovely bedtime thoughts.
I'm gonna like leave it off to you, because I think that you might be in the same position as me if we just like talk it out loud. With everything that we now know and how the Titan's power has come to be, how it was one person split into multiple, the war that happened afterwards. We've just seen the Warhammer Titan. Can you re-describe the events that transpired to give Eren a new ability that is hardening, and how that happened? Explain to me what happened in order of like a chronological order for that to come to be, and try to tell me why, like how it makes sense, like how that fits in. Like, so what we had regular Aaron.
We had regular Aaron, and then he took the armor bottle.
What's that?
We don't, yeah, exactly. That's the question. How do they have spinal fluid? But then how can you level up abilities like that with spinal fluid? Like, if you, is this how it works? That, oh, look, there's the Warhammer Titan, and the Warhammer Titan can harden into creating things. I'll take some of its spinal fluid and inject it into Aaron. Wow, now Aaron can use his hardening to create hammers. Is that how it happens? It's
the one thing that doesn't fit in for me. Like, this power that's able to be passed on to somebody and inherited, and then they're able to turn into this Titan, and the memories, that's all making sense to me.
That makes sense, but
the bottle,
able to give traits, giving traits from the other main Titans,
or from a different place. Like, I don't even know. I can't even say with confidence. I think it's a good theory that it's like, oh, take some blood out of the Warhammer Titan and then give it to another Titan, and it can get like a smaller degree of that ability. But that's all headcanon. Like, I don't know how a vial comes to be that possesses an accessory to a Titan.
Especially with how dumb Marley seems. Like, if their scientists were smart, they might be able to, I don't know if it was possible, figure out a way to genetically engineer abilities extra for Titans.
Why wouldn't they do that?
Why wouldn't they try that? But I also feel like we've been given this impression that Marley thinks they're super smart and don't want to listen to smart people talk.
Was it like at the deal that they made with the Warhammer Titan where the king went over to like the island of Paradis? It was like, well, let me take a little bit of extra blood from you, Warhammer, in case like I need it for a fight. Like I'm making this stuff up, but I don't, because I think in the moment you and I were theorizing like, oh, this super intelligent civilization is in labs with doctors and beakers and like, you know,
But it is odd because we've been told that spinal fluid was to turn other people into Titans, like into pure Titans.
We have the ability
That's what we've been told
to turn Eldians into pure Titans.
That's
and
what
then
we've been told it does.
The more special thing, which is turning people that have become Titans into smarter Titans, right? Like
that's what we're trying to say is a thing because of that armor bottle. Like, it was so specific that bottle was there and Aaron grabs it.
Yeah. And like I haven't seen anything else like it.
Like a bottle that's labeled with one of the other abilities. What are, like, that opens up of what other abilities, if this really did give Aaron the ability to, like, the attack Titan never had hardening and now it does. Like,
does the attack Titan forever have the ability to harden now?
Yes. Is it just his attack Titan? Is it the next one? But also, what are the other traits that are able to be given, you know, from the other Titans? Like, the armor, the hardening in the armor is interesting because there are a couple different Titans that have control over hardening to different extents. Like, Annie was able to harden to the extent that Aaron currently is.
Annie feels like she was given a vial that gave her the ability to harden. But the Armored Titan and the Warhammer Titan feel like it was part of them.
It's like a part of their Titan.
Yeah.
So what is a part of the Colossal that could be given? Steam?
Is it only hardening that can be given? Why is like it's something that I don't have an answer for.
We don't truly understand how it works. It's like some shows have like a slightly too overcomplicated power and or magic system.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like this is normally too overcomplicated, but there are one or two aspects that I feel haven't been given enough explanation time.
I imagine it will be.
If any.
Like, I imagine we're going to learn how that works, especially when Annie comes back around, hopefully, that if she will. I can only assume she would.
Well, if Eren knows how to get this the sister out of this egg, basically, he would know how to get Annie out of her egg.
The hardening of Eren's Titan has played a massive role in the story and given him powers that he needs to be able to defeat these people. And like, it's just
honestly, he would not have done well against Reiner if he hadn't had this hardening.
He wouldn't have been able to close walls. It was such a massive emotional moment when he got this ability.
It was a massive plot device to be able to protect the people of Paradis, but also fight the enemies of Paradis.
So I would love to know the specifics of that. Maybe they've already been explained and I missed it. You know,
Which we do always say that we would love to rewatch the show and realize if there were things that we just didn't notice. I mean, yes, it's like 24 minutes that you're sitting here watching something, but this show is so complex, and if you spend even one of your 24 minutes focusing on a character's personality, or why did they say what they did, or the dialogue, or a big action sequence that just happened, you might miss something else that's happening at the same time.
Yeah.
Because there's so much good that's going on at the same time. It's like a really, really good meal. Because there's a bunch of ingredients and a bunch of dishes that are part of this meal in this pot that all make it really good, but are all good on their own, too. And so if you focus on one of them, then you're not going to, like, taste the others.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I have a lot of thoughts, and I'm really enjoying the show. I'm loving where they're going with, like, I think you have all these, like, disgusting little naked big guys running around all the time, but my favorite part of the show and things that stick with me the most are the moral questions and how much debate it is, like how easily it is to debate that. And it seems like if somebody gave you two paths to go down as a writer, it would be easier and more predictable to go down the route that leans into, big, scary, naked, small guys running around, or the moral complications of war. Like,
and they give you that first one to be disgusted by, and you think that that's the most disgusting thing you'll see is these giant titans that are just, if I'm sure everyone can attest to their first episode watching this show and first ever seeing of Titans was an experience. It was truly an experience that none of us will ever be able to relive, and that is kind of sad because it was
my memory.
It was a very interesting experience for sure. But to be shown, hey, look at this disgusting thing that's like so disgusting that it's like in your memory, burned there forever, and then to be told, but that's not the most disgusting thing. The true disgusting thing are these complexities of morality that I'm going to show you in terms of like thinking about war.
And what this show has shown me time and time again is that the most disgusting thing in it is always the result of humans. Whether it's Zackley or whatever, making some human centipede torture device.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why he had to go there.
Questions about killing children or not thinking about how you're killing children
Purges.
So you can benefit yourself. I don't know. There's so much to appreciate about the show. I'm enjoying where we're at. If I'm honest, I don't know how many episodes are left, and that's kind of scary because I know I'm pretty sure that Attack on Titan has gotten to the 4th season, and I'm pretty sure about that because we're on episode 6. But I don't know much about how is there a season 5 or are there parts to season 4?
Or is this like so if it was a part, then this season would probably be around 12 episodes, I would imagine.
Yeah.
So that would mean that if that is the case, we're halfway through this part.
I don't know, but I'm really enjoying. We're not gonna
look it up because we're smarties and we don't look things up because spoilers are everywhere.
We're not.
We are smarties.
We're trying.
Give yourself some credit, Ben.
I'm trying.
You have figured out quite a bit of things from this show upon watching it that
Anna,
I am very impressed by.
I have been humbled. I am the backpack bitch. Like, I am no longer. I don't have a title. You figured
out that Eren and Jean were here, and I was the idiot. And thought that you were just really excited about this theory and thinking about it a little too much.
Honestly, though, was that John? Or did John just show up? we got the little facial hair, but I don't know.
Well, if it was him, then he recently either got his hair trimmed a little bit and slicked it back.
They keep talking, what's her name? Fleek? The Backpack Titan.
Peak.
Did
I know
Peak
when
say
you said that, I was like, Fine?
Did Peak say something about the person guiding them away having a beard?
Yes.
And I feel like I read that twice and looked at it twice and didn't see a beard either time. And I don't know if I'm blind or if I misread.
Maybe there was some stubble.
Which person was supposed to have the beard? The person guiding them away,
The person
right?
that originally guided them away, which is why she went and hugged this, her squad, basically.
Yeah.
And I don't remember noticing a beard upon that person's face when we first saw them.
Since
Especially because I was like, oh, what if it's a girl? So I feel like if I had noticed the beard, I wouldn't have gone to a place where it could, maybe it wasn't Armin and maybe it was one of the other blonde characters that we have.
I don't know. Interesting.
Is Armin here or is Armin back on Paradis?
I don't know.
Would you bring everything you have here for Aaron's plan? Because obviously you need to make it work.
I don't know if it's that simple because I don't know what Armin is thinking. Armin is a very intelligent character who I have not heard talk too much this season.
And the last time we saw him, he felt like poop. The last time we saw Armin, he was being yelled at about the fact that he was alive.
And he was being yelled at, but then he saw the seashell and like he had hope, and then Aaron was like,
he looked like
everything
an innocent
sucks.
little baby.
Yeah.
And you wanted to hug him and show him more amazing things that he wants to see.
Armin,
take him to the zoo.
Armin was like a little kid who just got those colorblind glasses where he could see colors for the first time, and he was like the happiest boy in the world and was like, I just want to go to Disneyland. And then Aaron's like Santa isn't real, bitch.
Don't you want to
We're killing Santa.
Don't you want to take Armin around to like an aquarium and then a zoo?
Yeah.
And then like on a safari ride? I wouldn't take Aaron. He would totally ruin everything. He would be a downer.
Do you know how many tragedies happen a year on roller coasters? Like
he'd be like, look over there and watch that lion kill that zebra. I'd be like, no, don't have me look at that.
Oh, I love it. All right, I'm good. You?
I'm good. I think I'm good. Am I okay?
We're not okay. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.
I think it levels out the playing field in a way. I think it levels out the playing field in a way. I think it levels out the playing field in a way.
I think it levels out the playing field in a way.